Okay, we have writing and sketching polar equations, petals, cardioids, and limasomes. Use this worksheet from class. And the first one I'm going to do is number 3. And its petals do not end over on the right on the x-axis, which means we have a sine equation. I'm going to look at how many petals there are. There's 5 petals, so that means B is going to be 5. Remember, it's odd number of petals. B will match the number of petals. Then I'm going to look at how long are these petals. They go out to circle number 3, so that means A is going to be 3. That means, don't forget to write R. R equals 3 and sine of 5 theta. So again, we decided it was sine, and because it didn't touch the axis to the right. So I'm going to come over to number 4. I'm going to say, again, the axis to the right is not being touched when we're at the maximum part of the petal. Nothing's touching right here. So we have a sine petal again. This time I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 petals. When I have an even number of petals, B is going to be half of that, which is 4. And this one's also going to the third circle, so A is 3. And we're going to write our equation. Make sure you start with R. R equals. And how far out did we go? To 3. Doesn't touch on the right, so it's a sine. And then B is 4, so 4 theta. Number 7, again, doesn't touch off to the right. That'll be sine. There's an odd number of petals, so that means B is 3. It's coming out to the 4, so that means A is 4. Start with R. R equals 4. Doesn't touch, makes it sine. Sine, and we have 3 theta. Again, odd number of petals. B matches the number of petals. On 8, this is our first one that's going to touch the maximum length on the petal. Actually touches on the x-axis, the right axis, so that makes it cosine. Same rules for sine and cosine as far as there's an odd number of petals. B is 3. It's touching. It's kind of hard to tell what the number is there, so if I follow that circle around here, it's at 4. So A is at 4. So this one's going to be R equals, it's on the x, it's cosine, but we'll say it's out at 4, cosine 3 theta. Okay, so now we have our limasomes and cardioids. I'm going to want to notice that the main part is down low in the y direction, which makes this be a negative sign. And it's touching here and here, which is kind of hard to tell. It's every other circle counts as 1. Every circle counts as 2. So we're going to come out 1, 2, 3, 4. It's the second circle, it counts as 2, so that'll be at 4. These are all positive because they're radii of a circle. Let's go ahead and count this way. We got 1, 2, so this is at 2. Come all the way down to this one, that's at 10. Again, everything's positive. These numbers represent the radius of the circle. So I'm looking at this sideways number is our A. So A is 4. And I'm not sure what b is, but I know that a, which is 4, plus b is going to be my maximum of 10. So then that means b has to be 6. If I want to double check that, then I can say that 6 minus 4 is 2. Okay, so because this is down low, we're going to have the sign in the middle will be minus, and we are using sign. We'll start with r equals. Our a value is 4 minus our b value is 6 sine theta. And now we'll look at one that doesn't have a loop, which is called a cardioid. And it's up, so that makes it be a positive sign. Oh, and my sideways numbers, actually, I wanted to highlight those. So the scale on this one is every circle counts as 1. So that means this one's going out 1, 2, 3. Again, a positive 3, because this is the radius of a circle. 1, 2, 3. And then this one was 2, 4, and that was 6. And there's nothing inside to count. So that means our a is going to be 3. A is these sideways numbers. And then we're going to say, okay, 3 plus b is going to be our maximum number of 6. So b is 3. And that's the reason that we don't have an inner loop is when the two are going to match. If we check that, we're going to say we have 3 minus 3. So our inner loop is really at 0, meaning it's just a dot. Alright, so again, we'll start with r. A is 3. We decided it's a plus. Use our b value, which is also 3. And a sine theta. So I did two that are sine. These are both cosine because they're going on x. So this would be a negative cosine. This would be a positive cosine. The same rules apply. Alright, let's look at the sketch. Pull it down for a second so you can see the name on it. The sketching a polar equation. I'll just go ahead and go in order on these, and we'll decide what they are. So if this one is got a plus or minus in between, it's going to be the limacone or cardioid type. I actually know it's going to be a limacone that's not a cardioid because these numbers don't match. It says a negative sign, which tells me that I'm going to mainly be down below. That part's saying go down below. And my sideways numbers are going to be 1. So I'm going to come to the right one and to the left one. And then I'm going to say I have to add these two numbers to get my maximum. So I'm going to go out 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Subtract those two numbers to be my inner loop. So that's going to go 2, 1, 2. And then I'm going to start from my maximum and try to go round, coming through here and hitting at 0. So I'm going to come around and hit at 0. You don't have to be perfect. That's not at all perfect. I'll fix it a little bit. Okay, make a fatter dot. Then my inner circle, I'm going to do the same thing. Come from the dot and come up to the pole. It's a little hard to see, so let me see what I can do. Use the graph paper is so dark. Alright, this one's boggling because there's missing numbers. So let me rewrite that as r equals 0 minus 1 sine theta. Now we have pretty much the same thing. So I have a subtract. It's going down low, it's sine. But my A, which is where I'm going to make my sideways dots, is just at 0. So I'll make one to the left, one to the right, and the pole all in the same place at 0. Now I'm going to add those two together, the 0 and the 1. That's my maximum circle. And there's going to be an inner loop and an outer loop in the exact same spot, which basically means I just have a circle. It's super hard to see if you made it be that scale. Then we'll go on to this one. There's nothing in between here, no pluses or minuses. So I'm going to say that it's petals. I'm going to say that the B is odd. So when B is odd, I'm going to have the same number of petals. So B is odd means I'll have 5 petals. Where am I going to start? My first petal is I'm going to start at 90 divided by 5.